What's up, everyone? This is Will, or Iron Legion, and I'm back for episode 3 of the Inspired Geeks Podcast. And today we're actually going to be talking about the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer that just released last week. I'm going to give my thoughts on that, how that relates to Avengers Endgame, some thoughts I have about the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward into Phase 4. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's just have fun talking about this new trailer and all things Marvel. But first, I actually want to apologize for my leave of absence over the past couple of weeks. I'm actually in school pursuing a master's degree in film producing, and finals came up right around the time of Avengers Endgame's release, so I wasn't able to post that review that I promised with a bunch of friends just due to our work schedules. And again, I had, grad school finals. So I apologize. So I'm actually going to give my brief thoughts on that before I jump into my thoughts on the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. So if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, I encourage you to click off this podcast, stop listening, stop watching the video, go see the movie, because I'm actually going to talk about huge spoilers, character deaths, all that good stuff. So I don't want to spoil it for you. So go see the movie and then come back and watch this video. So if you're still watching this video, then you have probably already seen Avengers Endgame. And all I can say is, man, oh man, what a satisfying conclusion to the past 11 years and 21 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thank you so much to Kevin Feige, the Russo brothers, and all the amazing and talented cast and crew who made these movies possible for comic book nerds like me. Just an incredible emotional journey. The big takeaway here is that we lost Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, Iron Man. He sacrificed himself at the end of the movie using the Infinity Stones to snap away Thanos and his army. We also lost a couple of other Avengers too. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, we lost her. She sacrificed herself on Vormir to get the Soul Stone. And then at the end, we lose our boy Captain America. He travels back in time, replaces the Infinity Stones in the right timeline, and ages and spends his life with Peggy Carter, gets old, and comes back to the present time and passes the mantle of Captain America over to Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, which I think is cool and something that happens in the comic books. But yeah, this was just Endgame was just one of those movies that I was like, this is something special. Like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just something special. These movies are going to be talked about for years to come, kind of like how we still talk about the Star Wars, the original trilogy, 40 some years later. These movies are that for this generation, and I couldn't be happier to have been here from the start of 2008's Iron Man all the way up to Avengers Endgame. And as a huge Marvel fanboy, comic book reader, and movie lover, this movie delivered on all levels. The score, the direction by the Russo brothers, the acting, all of it was just straight up fantastic. The last hour or so, the final battle, probably one of my favorite comic book battles of all time, just because the sheer number of characters that are in it, the cool little character moments, the character interactions throughout the entire movie. I loved the little interactions that, Tony Stark had with Rocket, even though they didn't really have a whole lot of screen time together. That was really cool to kind of see them finally interact, even though it was very brief. There's just so much to unpack with that movie, but at this point, I'm sure you've probably already seen it, so I won't waste too much of your time going over stuff that you've probably already heard. But just an amazing, amazing movie. I loved it. Just a great send-off to the past 11 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Definitely will be buying it on Blu-ray and the whole MCU package when it comes out in November or the fall, I'm guessing. Just a fantastic movie. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 9 out of 5. Now, my only complaint about Endgame is that if you are expecting it to be an action-packed, nonstop, blockbuster like Infinity War was, you might be disappointed because it's a bit of a slow burn. But again, it's well worth it just for the character interactions, the story that's being told, and just the cool little Easter eggs. And again, the last hour or so, just a huge payoff. Just a fantastic movie all around. Now, I am going to transition over to Spider-Man Far From Home, the last movie in phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is actually capping off everything, and it actually takes place shortly after the events of Avengers Endgame. As you can see in the trailer here, the death of Tony Stark is definitely being felt by Peter Parker, Happy Hogan, and basically everyone that lives in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right down to the remaining Avengers to the everyday citizens. So this is a big event. It'll be interesting to see how the universe and the movie franchise go forward without Iron Man in it. And as a huge Spider-Man fan, this is a great opportunity for Peter Parker to step up and become the Spider-Man that we kind of know from the comic books. Even though he's still a teenager in the movies, this is just such a great, jumping on point or continuation of his story too. I'm looking at my notes here because I don't want to just jump into everything because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about here with this trailer. But like I said, the trailer opens up with a memorial of Iron Man, and Peter's kind of, still down about losing his mentor and sort of father figure here. But again, and then we also transition over to shots of him in the Iron Spider suit, which is still cool that he's still wearing that from Infinity War. So I'm guessing he's going to also have new suits. Later on in the trailer, we see a stealth suit that kind of looks like the Spider-Noir suit. So I'm guessing he'll build more gadgets and become more of an inventor a la Iron Man, which again will be a nice homage to his mentor. Also in the trailer, we get shots of some of Peter's classmates, Zendaya's MJ, and I forget the actor's name, but the guy that plays Ned. I love him too. He's hilarious, a great portrayal of the character. But this also brings up a point that I wanted to talk about, and not too many other comic book nerds have. I know people on Reddit have and different forums have, but not too many YouTubers to talk about this. But one of the plot holes of Endgame is that the people who didn't get dusted in the decimation, the official term for when Thanos snapped his fingers in Infinity War, they actually went on living for 5 years. The people that did get dusted just kind of, fainted, and no time passed for them. So if it's a 5-year gap, some of the people that Peter was in high school with aged, they should be college age now, and he's still 15. So we do see that Ned's still the same age. MJ and Zendaya is still the same age, and also Flash is the same age. So we can assume that they got dusted during the events of Infinity War and missed out on, the 5 years. Yeah, so they missed out on those 5 years. So that's something the MCU could touch upon going forward in many different films, not just this film. So, those characters like Peter, MJ, and Flash who missed out on 5 years and see some of their classmates older, that could be something interesting. Basically, that 5-year gap that was introduced in Endgame could be something that future MCU TV shows and movies could deal with too. Average citizens dealing with, loved ones being gone and then they suddenly come back. How does that impact them? Other heroes too, going forward in the MCU. So I think that's a cool little thing that even fan fiction stuff could be done. Short films, I know I have an idea for it too. So I think that's kind of something that we can fill in if Marvel doesn't do it for us. And then the trailer transitions over to, Happy talking about Nick Fury trying to get in touch with Peter, and, he kind of ghosts him. And then we also get introduced finally to Quentin Beck, Mysterio, which is cool. I've been waiting for Mysterio since the Tobey Maguire films in 2002 and 2004. Longtime Spider-Man comic reader, huge Spidey fan, so I'm excited to see what they do with Mysterio. His costume looks comic book accurate, spot on. They casted Jake Gyllenhaal, who is a great actor and a great choice to play the character, so that's really cool. And then we get confirmation that he's from another Earth, meaning that the multiverse exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is absolutely huge for us because comic book readers know that there are different universes or multiverse in the Marvel comic book universe for a while now. So this means that we can get introduced to characters that, have now been acquired by Disney and the Fox deal. So now we can get the Fantastic Four, we can get the X-Men, they can introduce mutants now. And all these characters that we missed out on that Fox owned can now be brought over, and other comic book elements too. Now that they're finally introducing the multiverse. Maybe even down the line we'll get Miles or Spider-Gwen or Spider-Ham or Spider-Noir. So the possibilities are endless. That really has me excited, knowing that, Nick Fury tells Peter that this Quentin Beck Mysterio is from another Earth. And another twist here is that he seems to be a good guy, and he's working with Peter, Spider-Man, in this movie. Now, us comic book readers know that he is traditionally a villain, so I'm pretty sure this will be a twist. Maybe he's lying, or maybe they're going to go a different route. If you saw Captain Marvel, they introduced the Skrulls, and the Skrulls ended up being sympathetic good guys. But in the comic books, they've always been portrayed as villains, so maybe they'll do something different with Mysterio. I don't know, but I still think he's going to end up being the main villain in the movie at some point. So we'll see when the movie hits July 2nd. Also, it's nice to see Samuel L. Jackson and as Nick Fury and Mariah Hill back in the movie too. We haven't seen them in a while, so I'm wondering, are they trying to build a new S.H.I.E.L.D.? I haven't kept up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a long time, so forgive me. But I think that'd be really cool if that's what they're doing in the wake of Infinity War and Endgame, trying to rebuild another agency like S.H.I.E.L.D. That's cool. Also, another cool moment in Peter's conversation with Nick Fury is that he actually name drops Captain Marvel. Even in her own film, no one says Captain Marvel or calls her that, not even in Endgame. So that's the first time a hero actually references that name, which, a little cool little moment. I'm going through my notes here, so I'm sorry for the little pause. The movie. Oh, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was the elementals that we see in the trailer here. They might actually be they have been confirmed to be the villains that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Quentin Beck, Mysterio are teaming up to fight against, who have come over, I'm assuming from Quentin Beck's Earth, and now are invading the Earth that we know. Sorry about that. And then for those of you that don't know, the elementals are extra-dimensional villains who have the power to control the natural forces like fire and wind. Some people thought the guy that would look like water was actually Hydro Man, but he's actually not. He's just one of the elementals, which is still cool. And I'm excited to see them on the screen. But again, I'm pretty sure Mysterio is going to be the main villain of this movie. Another concern that I had, and I think a lot of other fans had too, is that how so many people in the MCU know Peter is Spider-Man. We got Ned, Aunt May, Happy Hogan, Pepper, some of the Avengers, and now MJ Zendaya in the trailer reveals that she knows he's Spider-Man. So, in the comic books, he's really secretive about his identity. So that's a little bit of a nitpick for me too. But again, I'm willing to give the filmmakers a chance and see how they handle this little nitpicking of all these people kind of knowing his identity. It could lead to some interesting subplots and story plots. So again, I'm down for it. And lastly, we get more action shots in the trailer, and we also get, clean shots of the stealth suit. So yeah, the trailer doesn't give a whole lot away. It just kind of sets up the story. Has a little humorous moments at the end with Happy Hogan. I'm really excited about it. I'm a longtime Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man's my guy. He's probably the superhero I mostly connect with besides the X-Men. So yeah, great stuff. I'm excited to see what this movie does and how it sets up the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward into Phase 4, the multiverse, all the characters that can be introduced. Like, I'm hoping we see the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and I hope the next villains that we get ends up being Doctor Doom, Norman Osborn, and I would even love the next big bad to even be Galactus. So please, Marvel, do that for me. Yeah, but yeah, really great trailer. Can't wait for it. I will definitely try to do a review when it comes out July 2nd. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. But again, guys, I just thank you guys so much for the support so far. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me during the craziness of grad school finals. I do have a lot of exciting things coming up now that I have more free time. I'm going to the Tidewater Comic Con, which is in Virginia Beach, Virginia, where I'm located this weekend. So I'm trying to record some content there and post it on the channel. And then the following weekend, at the end of this month, actually, I'll be going to GalaxyCon in Richmond, Virginia, which has like a whole bunch of celebrities. Mantis, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, will be there. I'm hoping to meet her. I also maybe get some stuff recorded while I'm there, talk to some fans. So good stuff. Again, I'm also looking for co-hosts. I'm looking for people to help me build a website. And anybody who just wants to be a part, be interviewed, I'm open to it. Interns, all that good stuff. I want this podcast to be really great, something special. Again, so I'm not going to let it, I'm going to still kind of bug you about that, but you know, I just want this podcast to be fun. This is a passion project of mine. So again, thank you guys for the support, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.